Mrs. Otis, good night. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air. Mr. Adams, are you still up?
Oui, ma chérie.
Ah, you must finally be getting something to eat. I saw you left the ball before they brought out that enormous birthday cake with all those horrible candied cherries.
Dans la bibliothèque, ma femme.
Où es-tu, mon amour?
In the library, Mrs. Adams.
Ah! Oh, you're still working.
Sí. Momentico, amor mío. Changes our relations with Spain from the highest mutual exasperation and imminent war to a fair prospect of tranquility and of secure peace.
You know it's near 2 in the morning.
Is it really?
C'est vrai.
Well then, time for me to stop writing and start welcoming you home. Happy George Washington's birthday, Mrs. Adams. Ooh la la, Louisa. Très chic, ma chérie. When I saw you dancing across the room in Georgetown tonight, I thought, voila, the belle of the ball. Tell me all about George Washington's birthday ball. Did anything exciting happen after I left?
Oh, that ball. Well attended, but by far the most boring ball we have been to all season.
Yay, and so expensive.
And those candied cherries.
Candles everywhere. Orchestra. Ugh.
And the only bright spot of the whole evening was when I got everyone up to sing Mr. Key's new poem to that tune your father used in his re-election campaign.
Yes. Adams and liberty. For her pride is John Adams. His laws are her choice, and shall flourish forever till liberty slumbers. Tonight, ma chérie, thanks to you, that grand old tune took flight to brand new words. Oh, say, can you see by the dun da da dun? Remind me how Mr. Key's new poem starts. Oh, say, can you see
by the dawn's early
light
what so
proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? That's it.
Stirring, isn't it?
A very satisfying marriage of text and tune. Well done, Mrs. Adams. Très diplomatique, a social coup. Who but you would have thought of singing those words to that tune?
Next year, we should host the ball for George Washington's birthday.
We
We
should host the George Washington birthday ball.
we.
Mrs. Adams, have you considered the cost of such a venture? Have you considered the invasion of my privacy, the diminution of my dignity?
But that would set the stage for John Quincy Adams, President, 1824.
President John Quincy Adams and First Lady Louisa Catherine Johnson Adams, 1824. Mrs. Adams,
My dearest friend.
this day, February 22nd, 1819, is perhaps the most important day of my life.
The Florida Treaty.
The Florida Treaty, signed this morning. The Spanish ambassador, Don Luis Dionisi Gonzalez Barra. He came at 11. I had one copy of the treaty, and El Señor Onis had the other. I read the English side, which he collated. Then he read the Spanish side, which I collated. We discovered and rectified some few errors of copying and even of translation. We signed and sealed both copies on both sides. Then I delivered our copy to President Monroe and took the treaty to the Senate.
Ah, yes! Senator Fromentin, you know the senator from Louisiana,
Really?
told me at the ball that the Senate received your treaty with universal satisfaction.
Its prospects are propitious and flattering to an eminent degree. Would you like to hear what I've been writing in my diary about the Florida Treaty?
Oh, yes, dearest friend, I delight in hearing you read.
Let's see. Madame, asseyez-vous, s'il vous plaît. This treaty merits swift ratification and a lasting place in history for three enduring reasons. First, a provision 15 years in the making. The treaty acquires both of the Floridas from Spain, East Florida and West Florida, and makes them U.S. territory at the modest cost of $5 million. The Floridas will be found in all probability less valuable in possession than when merely coveted, but the acquisition of the Floridas has long been an object of earnest desire to this country. They secure our eastern coastline. Second, a provision I first introduced only 4 months ago, a provision to push our western boundary farther west. By this treaty, Spain acknowledges the Bean River as our boundary from the Gulf of Mexico to the Red River. This is a peculiar and appropriate right acquired by my negotiation. It forms a great epocha in our history and makes the Florida Treaty truly a transcontinental treaty. Third, a provision that looks far into the future. The Florida Treaty changes our relations with Spain from the highest mutual exasperation and imminent war to a fair prospect of tranquility and of a secure peace. I close this day with fervent gratitude to the giver of all good.
Amen.
Amen.
And may it speed as it has begun.
Amen.
And may God speed you, my dearest friend, in the high office you fill so honorably.
Amen. For her pride is John Quincy Adams.
And his laws are her choice.
And shall
Shall
flourish
flourish
forever
forever
till
till
liberty
liberty
slumber. Ay, my dearest friend.
So, are you ready to come to bed, Mr. Secretary of State?
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Momentico, amor mío. Param, pum, 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 pa-da-pa-da-da-da-da-da. Déjelo con Barrabás. Not yet, Mrs. Adams. I still have 4 copies of the Florida Treaty to certify.
Perseveratingly laborious, the good of the country, your constant aim.
Valga el diablo los hijos de un borracho.
You know, I've been scribbling too in my new novel set here in the federal city as people are rebuilding from the ravages those British wrought when they burned the Capitol in 1814. I've created a new character. Would you like to hear how I describe him?
Of course, Mrs. Adams. I delight in hearing you read.
I call him Lord Sharpley.
Lord Sharpley.
Lord Sharpley was a man of outstanding talents. Perseveratingly laborious, he had filled many high stations to the great satisfaction of the nation. But he viewed mankind merely as the medium through which the great plans he formed for the welfare of his country were to be matured. The good of his country was his constant aim.
I see.
Only those who were most consistently in his society could sometimes observe the flashing of his eye and the tremulous motion of his lips, conveying some faint idea of the volcano that burnt within.
Volcano?
He's based on someone we both know.
Is he part of the Corps Diplomatique?
No.
Secretary of the Treasury.
No.
Secretary of War?
No.
Some other member of the cabinet?
Think on it, kind sir. I'm sure someone matching his description may yet spring to mind.
It shall be done, Mrs. Adams. But first, there's copies of the Florida Treaty to certify. 1, 2, 3, 4. Article 1.
Adams and liberty.
Article 2.
Adams and perspicacity.
Article 3.
Adams and synchronicity.
Article 4.
Adams and diplomacy.
Article 5.
Good night, my love.
Rest well, Mrs. Adams.
Oh, say, is there any way to get through to this brilliant mind? Is there anything more blind than a man ahead of his time?
Article 6. The inhabitants of the territories which His Catholic Majesty cedes serán admitidos a todos los privilegios, derechos e inmunidades, shall be admitted to all the rights, privileges, and immunities of citizens of the United States, ciudadanos de los Estados Unidos.